Hey guys, so WWE SummerSlam 2017 went down tonight, and considering what happened at NXT TakeOver last night, it had a very, very high bar to live up to, as NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 3 was one of the best wrestling events that WWE has put on in quite some time. And considering how last year's SummerSlam event was a bit of a dud, it had to surpass that in spades. And how was it overall? Did it live up to NXT, and was it able to surpass last year's SummerSlam event? Let's hop right into it and we'll find out. First match was on the kickoff show. It was the Miztourage taking on the team of the Hardy Boys and Jason Jordan. This match was kind of thrown together at the last minute. Hardy Boys were originally in a rivalry, it seemed, with the Revival and the Club, but with another injury to Dash and Dawson, that was quickly wiped out, and they're just kind of thrown in as Jason Jordan's goons, it seems, as there was backup as he took on the Miztourage. Nothing special really in this match, just a way to get people to tune in to the WWE Network early for free, and then try to get them to buy the network for SummerSlam. So the Hardy Boys were not really a big factor in the storyline. The main story is, of course, Jason Jordan and The Miz. The Miztourage did pick up the win, and you kind of expected that after Jason Jordan kind of made them look like fools past couple weeks. But overall, just an okay match, nothing too special, and hopefully WWE figures out what to do with the Hardy Boys very soon, because it's just a shame to see a great act like them, a great tag team in WWE history like them, being wasted on the pre-show. And then I also don't like how they put the champions on the pre-show. The Miz is the Intercontinental Champion. He should have been on the main card. Unfortunately, he was relegated to the kickoff show. Not a fan of that decision. I get that there's only so much time you have in a pay-per-view, but still, if it was up to me, I'd have all the champions featured on the main card. After that, it was the Cruiserweight Championship match. Neville taking on Tozawa, the newly crowned Cruiserweight Champion. Yet again, another title match relegated to the kickoff show. Not a fan of the decision, but the match overall was really good. Neville and Tozawa have good chemistry in the ring together, and Neville picked up the win here. Don't really get why they had Tozawa win the title on Monday, only to have him drop it on Sunday. I guess to possibly create tension between Tozawa and Titus O'Neil. I mean, that's the only reason I can think of it. I mean, I have no idea why they had Neville lose on Monday, only to regain it on Sunday. But Tozawa and Neville do have good, solid in-ring chemistry as well, and I am very interested to see where this rivalry goes from here. Neville has just owned the Cruiserweight division ever since he debuted in it, and it looks like Tozawa was going to be the one to knock him off his perch, but not quite. Neville regains the Cruiserweight title here, and I expect this rivalry to continue, as well as a mini feud between Tozawa and Titus O'Neil brewing in the background. After that, it was the Usos taking on the New Day for the SmackDown Live Tag Team Championships. Another title match relegated to the kickoff show. That's 3 champs all on the kickoff show. Not a fan, but anyway, this match was awesome. Best match on the kickoff show, and it set the bar pretty high for the rest of the main card that followed. Ton of cool spots. Usos and New Day always put on a great performance whenever they're battling it out in the ring, and this match was no exception. Tons of cool spots, lots of action, non-stop, and in the end, the Usos get the win here. They defeated the New Day to win the SmackDown Live Tag Team Championships. And if you're gonna watch SummerSlam, make sure you watch the kickoff show for this match. It was a great match. After that, it was John Cena taking on Baron Corbin, and this was the first match on the main card. Okay match. Following the New Day versus the Usos match, it paled in comparison, and in a very shocking decision, John Cena picks up the win over Baron Corbin. I don't know what has happened with Baron Corbin lately. He loses his Money in the Bank briefcase this past Tuesday, and then he loses to John Cena on SummerSlam. Don't get that decision at all. If you would have asked me before last Tuesday what was going to happen, I would have said, okay, Cena was going to beat Corbin, but then I would have expected Corbin to cash in and win the WWE title. But he lost the Money in the Bank briefcase because of Cena on Tuesday, then he loses to John Cena again at SummerSlam. I don't get that decision at all. Completely flustered and flabbergasted by it. So yeah, Baron Corbin, another big loss, and what was seemingly a couple weeks ago a very, very bright meteoric rise for his career just come to a crashing halt because of John Cena, ironically. After that, it was a SmackDown Live Women's Championship match. Natalya taking on Naomi. I do like Natalya, I do like Naomi. They are two of the best wrestlers in the women's division on the SmackDown brand. But the match, it was just okay. Didn't really live up to the hype. I was expecting a lot more considering the athletic talent in the ring. Natalya put on great matches with Charlotte, and Naomi is by far one of the most athletic women on the roster. But the match just didn't really click. In the end, though, Natalya, it's good to see. She got the win over Naomi, which shocked me, not that she won, but how she won. She made Naomi tap out to a sharpshooter. I did not think Naomi would tap out. I thought maybe Natalya would get the pin or something. And then I was expecting Carmella to cash in, but she did not. So Natalya, as of right now, is the SmackDown Live Women's Champion. But I believe SmackDown might still be in Brooklyn on Tuesday, so that could all change. WWE likes to have cash-ins in front of crazy crowds usually. And Brooklyn is a notoriously crazy crowd, so it would not shock me if Carmella cashed in on Natalya and won on SmackDown this Tuesday if it is in Brooklyn. After that, it was Big Cass taking on the Big Show in a match where Enzo would be suspended above the ring in a shark cage. And this was definitely the lowest point of the night. This match was not good at all. Pretty boring. When Enzo came to the ring, he was cutting a promo, and it was just him rambling. Did not really make any sense, and not one of his best promos. He eventually got put in the cage, was raised up, and the match between Big Show and Cass was very slow, very boring, very dull, and not very enjoyable to watch. It's kind of sad when the most entertaining part of this match is when Enzo is squeezing his way out of the cage above the ring. He managed to, he took off his outfit he was wearing, put oil on himself to make himself slip in between the bars, lowered himself down to the ring, and then proceeded to eat a big boot from Cass. Cass then would hit Big Show with the boot and pick up the win. And thankfully, in that debacle of a match, not a very good match at all, and not a very good rivalry at all between Big Show and Enzo. Between Big Show and Enzo, with Big Show and Enzo taking on Cass. They should have never broken up Big Cass and Enzo, and it's being proven why they should not have broken them up. I mean, they complement each other so well. Cass was the mouth, or Enzo was the mouth, Cass was the muscle, and without each other, they're floundering. I don't like the decision to have them broken up, and I do think they need to get put back together as quickly as possible, because this rivalry with the Big Show is going nowhere and doing more harm for their careers than helping them. After that, it was Randy Orton versus Rusev. This was another weird decision. Orton's making his way in the ring. Rusev comes in, sneak attacks him, was whooping on him pretty good, and then as soon as the match begins, Rusev charges at Orton, misses, and Orton hits it with an RKO and pins him for the win. The whole match was less than 10 seconds. I cannot believe it. I don't get what the heck has happened with Rusev either. He goes from riding in on WrestleMania 31 for a United States Championship match against John Cena on a tank to jobbing to Randy Orton at SummerSlam. I was baffled. I had no idea why WWE made that decision. I mean, it was shocking and entertaining in the moment, but it does no good for Rusev. Because to have a seasoned vet like John Cena go over Baron Corbin, then have another seasoned vet like Randy Orton destroy Rusev, just baffles me. I don't get that. Hopefully this rivalry continues, because I don't want to see Rusev get pushed away to the side, because I like Rusev a lot, and I would like to see him get some revenge on Randy Orton. I do think the rivalry will continue, but tonight, just not a good night for Rusev. After that, it was the Raw Women's Championship match. Sasha Banks taking on Alexa Bliss. And before the match, it should be noted that Bayley was giving Banks a pep talk, and Bayley was getting booed. And then when Banks made her way to the arena, she got some boos too. I don't know if it was because she was from Boston and then they were in Brooklyn. That might have something to do with it, but Bliss did get some cheers. The crowd was pretty much split throughout the match, and it was a very good match. Solid match. You could kind of tell there was some genuine hate towards each other in the match, which just made it much more intense, much more enjoyable to watch. Solid match, the better of the two women's championship matches of the night. And in the end, Bliss ended up losing to Sasha Banks via submission. Banks made her tap out to the Banks statement, and Sasha Banks is now your new Raw Women's Champion. I believe she's now a 4-time Women's Champion, if I'm not mistaken. So it should be interesting to see what Banks does with the title now that she has dethroned Alexa Bliss. Looks like forever Banks was going to turn heel and feud with Bayley, but with Bayley on the sidelines, it looks like Banks might be a face champion, with Bliss trying to get her title back. After that, Finn Balor took on Bray Wyatt in another solid and very entertaining match. Balor came out in his Demon King getup and looked really sharp, looked really good. Balor's always good in the ring, and his demon persona clashing with Bray Wyatt's supernatural cult leader persona made for a very entertaining story. Bray was continually trying to play mind games with Balor, but it seemed like Balor was always one step ahead, and in the end Balor got the win over Bray Wyatt. I do not think this feud is over. I do expect it to continue, because WWE kind of likes to drag out these supernatural mind game things. And with Balor and Wyatt both playing mind games against each other, I definitely see WWE stretching this thing out for a while. After that, it was my favorite match of the night, the Raw Tag Team Championship match between 2/3 of the Shield taking on The Bar. It was Ambrose and Rollins taking on Sheamus and Cesaro for the Raw Tag Team titles. Very, very good match. One of the best matches of the night. My favorite match because I'm a diehard Dean Ambrose fan, and I love the Shield. So seeing Ambrose and Rollins team up was a great thing, especially with it being a title match. And all four guys delivered. Ambrose and Rollins always have wicked in-ring chemistry together, whether they're opponents or whether they're on a team. And Sheamus and Cesaro are one of the best teams in WWE today. So it was just a perfect storm that's made for a great match and a funny moment. The Brooklyn crowd was actually bashing around a beach ball. Cesaro leaves the ring, sprints into the crowd, pops the beach ball, then walks back to the ring. Very, very cool moment to see just Cesaro. He literally sprints, hops the barricade, grabs the beach ball, rips it apart, and heads back to the ring. And even got a cheer from the crowd. Even though it was their beach ball, they appreciated Cesaro's dedication to the match to come out there and rip the beach ball. Just an awesome moment, funny moment. And the in-ring action for the match was fantastic. The ending sequence was incredible. Definitely check this match out. And in the end, the Shield, Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins, 2/3 of the Shield at least, they are now the Raw Tag Team Champions. They dethrone Sheamus and Cesaro. And what this means now is that Dean Ambrose is the first member of the Shield to become a Grand Slam champion. He's won the United States title, the Intercontinental title, the WWE World Heavyweight title, and now he's a tag team champ. Got all four of the main titles under his belt. So he is the first member of the Shield to join the Grand Slam Club. Did it actually pretty fast. They've only been on the main roster less than 5 years, and he's already gotten all four major titles that WWE has to offer today. So that's a really cool feat for Dean Ambrose, and being a big Dean Ambrose fan, he is my boy from Cincinnati. I was very excited to see that happen. So as far as this feud with Sheamus and Cesaro, I expect it to continue. I expect Dean Ambrose and Rollins to hold on to these titles for a while. Then I expect them to break up. I would say I think Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins are going to lose the belts down the line. They're going to get the rematch for the belts, and then I think Dean Ambrose is going to turn on Rollins either during that rematch or like a little bit after, and sets up for a WrestleMania feud between the two. Because as I said earlier, these two have wicked chemistry together, whether they're a team or whether they're opponents, and their feuds have been off the charts the past couple of years. The best rivalry, best storyline in WWE, in my opinion, because how personal it is with it going all the way back to the FCW days, and with the Shield being involved. It was just a great storyline. I expect WWE to ride this out until WrestleMania. So no full three-man Shield reunion for a while, as I expect, as I said, Dean Ambrose to turn on Seth Rollins later on down the line. After that, it was the United States Championship match. AJ Styles taking on Kevin Owens with Shane McMahon as the guest referee. It was a really good match, but did not live up to their past matches, in my opinion. I feel like having Shane McMahon as the guest referee kind of hurt it, took away from the in-ring action to focus on the story of Shane being involved. Shane did take some bumps, as does most special referees when they're involved in a match. And in the end, Shane kind of played a role in helping AJ Styles retain his title over Kevin Owens. So you can expect Kevin Owens, of course, to be furious about it. I'm sure it'll be addressed on SmackDown later. And I do think they're brewing a Kevin Owens versus Shane McMahon storyline, kind of what they did with AJ Styles and Shane McMahon earlier in the year. So I do expect AJ Styles to move on, possibly get their one more title defense against Kevin Owens, but I expect Kevin Owens to be gunning for Shane McMahon at this point. After that, it was Jinder Mahal taking on Shinsuke Nakamura with the WWE title on the line, and to me, this was the biggest disappointment of the night. Match was very underwhelming, didn't really click. It seemed like the guys never really got out of first gear, and as a result, it's just kind of a slow, seemingly rushed match between the two. So Mahal was able to retain this title. Nakamura was able to take out both Bollywood boys toward the end of the match, but Mahal was able to hit his finisher and pin Nakamura for the 3 count, and that was it. Very underwhelming, very disappointed, because Nakamura had a great entrance. You know, he had the violence there, and I was amped, I was juiced. I was like, okay, this match is gonna be pretty cool, but no, it fell flat. I thought prior to Corbin losing his Money in the Bank's briefcase, I would have said Nakamura would have won, and then Corbin would have cashed in. Did not happen because, of course, Corbin lost his briefcase, and Nakamura gets pinned cleanly by Mahal after Nakamura took out both the Bollywood boys. So I did not like the way the match went. Hopefully they can redeem themselves at No Mercy, because this match just fell flat on all counts and did not really hype up the crowd or live up to expectations. Following that, it was the match of the night. The main event stole the show. Brock Lesnar defending his title, the Universal Championship, against Roman Reigns, Braun Strowman, and Samoa Joe. A fantastic match. Action all over the place. Braun Strowman looked like a total monster in this match. He slammed Brock Lesnar through 2 announce tables and then proceeded to slam a 3rd announce table on top of Brock Lesnar, causing the EMTs and ringside doctors to come out and cart away Brock Lesnar from the match. And it looked like we're going to have a new champion, because, you know, Brock's being carted to the back. And there were also some other cool moments. There was a part before Brock was carted away. Samoa Joe had Brock Lesnar in that chokehold, and then Roman Reigns comes roaring at him. Joe gets out of the way, but Reigns hits Lesnar, and they go through the barricade, which is a cool move. And Strowman ended up chucking another office chair at Samoa Joe and Roman Reigns. These were just 4 big bad dudes tearing each other apart, and it was a total war, and it was awesome to watch. There was a part where Roman Reigns had the steel stairs, and he nailed Strowman in the head with the edge of the stair. So Strowman's head, the side of his head was bleeding. And it was a violent match, but it was fun to just watch these 4 monsters tear each other apart. And in the end, Brock Lesnar ends up coming back to the ring, and he ends up pinning Roman Reigns to retain the title, which I was shocked. Roman Reigns rarely gets pinned cleanly, and the fact that Brock Lesnar did it, I was shocked in the moment. But you know, once the adrenaline from watching the match wore down, I began to think about it. I think WWE is going to use this as a kind of a redeeming factor to get for WrestleMania 34. I think, I said it right after WrestleMania 33, I still think it's going to happen. Roman Reigns is going to take on Brock Lesnar for the Universal title at the main event of WrestleMania 34, and I think they're going to use Lesnar pinning Reigns as kind of like a main focal point in that storyline going forward. Reigns is going for a spear, and Lesnar countered it into an F5 to pin him for the win. But going forward, for I guess the next big pay-per-view is Survivor Series, I think it's going to be Lesnar versus Strowman for the Universal title. There was a ton of chants and cheers when Lesnar and Strowman were going at it. That's a money feud right there. And the fact that Strowman basically owned Lesnar, they're going to want to have Lesnar get his redemption and beat Strowman, possibly at Survivor Series. So that's what I think is going to happen going forward. And I would expect Roman Reigns to stay close to the main event picture. So I guess him and Samoa Joe will have a rivalry going forward from tonight before they start to build up toward Reigns versus Lesnar for WrestleMania 34. So overall, SummerSlam 2017, I thought it was much better than SummerSlam 2016. Was not as good as NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 3. As I said, NXT TakeOver Brooklyn was possibly the best wrestling show of the year so far for WWE. And SummerSlam did not live up to that, but it was good in its own right, very enjoyable. To me, the best 3 matches were both tag team matches and the main event. Fantastic action in all 3 of those matches. And then the AJ Styles Kevin Owens was a good match, and the Raw Women's Championship match was also another good match. So overall, very enjoyable show to watch, much better than last year's. And that's all I got for you. If you like this video, feel free to give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel. Follow me on Twitter at Cincy Fan Zone. I was live tweeting during tonight's SummerSlam event. I also live tweet during other sporting events and wrestling events as well. It's also the easiest and fastest way to get updates on my website, cincyfanzone.blogspot.com. There's a link to that website in the description below, and I have a lot of content up there. Every video on my YouTube channel is over there, and I write weekly blog posts for it, so feel free to check it out. I got a lot of other stuff, not just posts and videos, there's a bunch of other stuff over there as well, so please click on the link and check out the website for yourself. And as always guys, thanks for watching.